will now watch a short video that introduces Sadhguru and Isha Foundation. Please orient yourselves towards the screen.
In the next half hour, you're going to meet a man who has a devoted following across India and indeed around the world. While yoga and meditation are at the core of his teachings to promote individual growth, the work of the foundation covers conservation, education and health. And you'll find him astonishingly pragmatic on a range.
We have the necessary resource, we have the necessary capability, we have the necessary technology to address every human problem on the planet. Even 25 years ago, we couldn't have dreamt of it. But the only thing that is missing is consciousness.
Today, the spotlight is on a project called Green Hands in India.
We started a mass campaign and 6 years I spent planting trees in people's heads. That's the most difficult terrain, believe me. And now in the last 6 years, we've been transplanting it and that's happening much more easily.
Action for Rural Rejuvenation is mainly aimed at rejuvenating the human spirit.
English and computer skills are very essential to make these children come out of the hopeless economic and social pit they are in.
If you could first tell our viewers, what is the idea behind it? Initiative, insight, which is more specific towards entrepreneurs.
Whatever the nature of your business, ultimately, it is all about human well-being.
Isha Foundation, a non-religious, non-profit public service organisation headquartered in southern India.
Sadhguru has established Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in North America as a space for inner transformation and complete well-being. Surrounded by the serene forests of the Cumberland Plateau, Isha Institute attracts visitors from around the world for its unique programs and special events.
We've engineered the outside world in so many ways, but we've done nothing about this one. If you want to know well-being, in is the only way out.
This is what I want to teach you too. That is, you can be completely intoxicated without any drug, just on life. This is a shift from wine to divine.
How can you love one and hate the other when the same divine exists in all? Spiritual process is not about looking up or looking down, it is about turning inward. See, the only thing that I'm really good at is just this. I can just make the air around me just crackle with energy. Adi Yogi is the source of yoga, the first yogi.
Adi Yogi will inspire many generations to take up yoga. One truly remarkable thing that Sadhguru has done is, he has made yogis out of ordinary common people.
We're tracking a mammoth movement, an incredible rally starting from Kanyakumari, reaching up to the Himalayas, all in a month with the sole purpose of rejuvenating India's rivers.
Every state is responding. This is concurrence and this is wonderful.
I'm very happy that Sadhguru has taken up this cause. It should also become a people's movement for our own survival, for the survival of our children.
If you have to describe yourself in one word, would you consider wildlife as 2 words or 1 word?
President Pranab Mukherjee felicitating his Sadhguru for all his spiritual contribution.
Sadhguru and his entire team for letting us know about him and the Isha Foundation all in a nutshell. Thank you once again. Hussein of Jordan, the crown prince, quotes, "I'm ever mindful of the legacy of my grandfather, the founder of this kingdom, who had said to me that he perceived his life as a link in a continuous chain of those who served our nation, and that he expected me to be a new and a strong link in the same chain." Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As my dear inviters, Karnataka Bank has a strong belief in the link that a chain forms. Our founders have left a legacy behind, and it is up to us, the KBL family, to carry this forward. In this direction, today is truly a remarkable moment for each one of us at KBL family to be a part of this Founders Day celebration, which also marks the 94th birthday of our bank. 94 years ago, our founders had just one vision: to create a bank which is distinctive and committed to common man. And that's what exactly we have become, a distinctive bank offering state-of-the-art banking products and services to suit the requirements of all classes of customers, yet strongly rooted in our traditions handed over down to us by our vision-filled founders. To commemorate this great occasion and vision of our founders, we have been inviting eminent personalities from various walks of life to deliver the Founders Day lecture, followed by a musical concert. On this auspicious occasion this year, we have none other than a Padma Vibhushan awardee, founder of Isha Foundation, and the man who has made reviving the rivers of India his life's mission. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may have already guessed, Sadhguru of Isha Foundation is our chief guest for today, and he will deliver the Founders Day lecture. May I now request our chairman, Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt, and managing director and CEO, Shri Mahabaleshwara MS, to escort Sadhguru to the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sadhguru. One and all. Invoking the blessings of Almighty God before any program is deeply rooted in our Indian tradition. Prayer is a supplication to the sublime spirit we believe in. Now I request Srimati Veena TN, officer of our bank, to invoke God's blessings on this auspicious occasion.
शारदाम्बां भजे श्री शारदाम्बां भजे श्रितकल्पवल्लीं कारुण्यवारां निधिं कलिकल्मषग्निं श्री शारदाम्बां भजे इन्द्रादिदेवार्च्य पादाम्बुजां ताम् इन्द्रादिदेवार्च्य पादाम्बुजां ताम् ईशित्वमुख्याष्ट सिद्धिप्रदात्रीम् ईशित्वमुख्याष्ट सिद्धिप्रदात्रीं श्रीशारदाम्बां भजे ऊहापदातीतमाहात्म्ययुक्तां मोहान्धकारापः स्वाभिधानां श्रीशङ्कराचार्य संसेविताग्रिं श्रीशृङ्गगिर्याख्य पुर्यां वसन्ति श्रीशृङ्गगिर्याख्य पुर्यां वसन्ति श्रीवाग्विभूत्यादिदानप्रवीणां श्रीभारतीतीर्थहृत्पद्मवासां श्रीवाग्विभूत्यादिदानप्रवीणां श्रीभारतीतीर्थहृत्पद्मवासां 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 श्री शारदाम्बां भजे श्रितकल्पवल्लीं कारुण्यवारां निधिं कलिकल्मषग्निं श्री शारदाम्बां भजे
Thank you, Srimati Veena TN, for the melodious invocation which has reinforced our confidence, and we strongly feel an assurance from God Almighty as we continue our program this beautiful afternoon. May I now request our visionary and ever-enterprising Managing Director and CEO, Sri Mahabaleshwara MS, to extend a formal welcome to the chief guest and the gathering, and to give us an overview of the Founders' Day and our beloved Karnataka Bank. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sadhguru at Mangaluru. The great news, hitherto unbelievable, and that reality we are seeing today. Give him a big round of applause. Yes, I am as elated as you are, and as eager to hear him as you are all. In fact, I was fortunate to meet him thrice in the last 6 months. First, my meeting with Sadhguru was at Bengaluru about 6 months back, when I had personally gone to Bengaluru to have his formal consent for this Founders' Day celebration of Karnataka Bank. Of course, this was followed by an invitation from him for me to attend the great rally for rivers at Bengaluru. That was my second meeting. And the third meeting with Sadhguru took place very recently at Isha Foundation itself on the 9th of February this month. That is when myself and my wife, we went to his ashram at Isha Foundation, Coimbatore, to extend the formal invitation of this Founders' Day function. Every time I met him, I was moved by three things. I think you are all experiencing the same. The first one is his great simplicity. The second was his clarity of thoughts. And the third, most important, which distinguishes Sadhguru from other gurus, is that his science of religion. So that is Sadhguru for you all. Friends, Many of you, all the Mangaloreans, you know that we used to conduct this function, that is our Founders Day function, at our own auditorium in this building, which could accommodate about 1,000 plus invitees. This time, on account of Sadhguru's presence in this great occasion, we had to shift our Founders Day function to this big pandal. That is the love and affection the Mangaloreans have shown to Sadhguru. And this itself speaks a volume regarding the love and affections we Mangaloreans have for Sadhguru. By expressing our heartfelt pranams to the lotus feet of Sadhguru, let us start the Founders Day celebration. Karnataka Bankina ಸ್ಥಾಪಕರ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆಗೆ ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಸವಿಗನ್ನಡದ हार्दिक सुस्वागत। कर्नाटका बैंक इस शुभ अवसर पर सभी उपस्थित अतिथियों का हार्दिक स्वागत करता है। You are all well aware that Karnataka Bank started this tradition of Founders Day celebration about 20 years back. That is in the year 1998, to remember the founding fathers of the bank and their yeoman service to the society and to the mankind. On account of their great effort, Karnataka Bank is today regarded as a time-tested leading bank in private sector. I wish to respect those great souls who had sown the seed of the great organization on this day, that is in 1924, that is 94 years back. You can see the portrait of all those great souls. Sri B.R. Vyasaraya Acharya, our founder president, Mr. Nellikai Venkatrao, Sri Pejavar Narayana Acharya, Sri Kalmadi Lakshmi Narayan Rao, Sri Pangal Subbarao, Sri Udupi Venkatrao, Sri Sheshabhat Bide, Sri Narikombu Ramarao, Sri Kakkunje Sadashiva Adiga. It is also my duty to remember late Sri K. Suryanarayan Adiga, former chairman of the bank. It is he who effortlessly steered the bank for around 4 decades. On this occasion, let us also salute with great respect and gratitude the past chairman of the bank who have contributed their might for all-round growth of the bank. They are late Sri K.N. Basri, Sri P. Raghuram, Sri P. Sundar Rao, late Sri H.M. Ramarao, Sri U.V. Bhatt, late Sri M.S. Krishna Bhatt, Sri Ananta Krishna, and our present chairman, Sri P. Jayaram Bhatt, who also served as the first MD and CEO of our bank. The year 2017-18 has been a historic year for Karnataka Bank as we crossed rupees 1 lakh crore business milestone on 27th December 2017, and at present our business stands at 1 lakh 4,000 crores. Bank has been showing consistent growth in all the spheres of banking in spite of adverse economic conditions. The capital and reserves of the bank today stands at rupees 5,085.04 crores. Bank has pan-India presence, serving more than 9.2 million satisfied customers across India through 793 branches, and by March 2018 we will be crossing the landmark branch number of 800. ATMs at present 1,387 ATMs, 135 e-lobbies and mini e-lobbies in 22 states and 2 union territories with 8,153 strong dedicated workforce and more than 1,79,000 shareholders. Bank has been actively involved in meeting its social obligation by utilizing a part of the profit to help the needy sections of the society under corporate social responsibility. I am pleased to inform that the bank is actively involved in several CSR activities like education, livelihood enhancement, empowering socially and economically disadvantaged, environmental sustainability, green initiatives, healthcare, Swachh Bharat, etc. The total CSR sanctions during the financial year up to January 2018 stood at rupees 5.32 crores. Today we have invited representatives of 3 beneficiaries under CSR program to receive the sanction letters. I also take this opportunity to declare that Karnataka Bank will actively take part in the Rally for Rivers, a dream project of Sadhguru aiming at rejuvenating the drying and dying rivers of India under bank's CSR initiatives. I am pleased to note that the good progress of Karnataka Bank is being noticed by various entities across India, and I am very happy to announce on this auspicious occasion that the bank has secured a record number of 16 awards during the current financial year, as against the previous record of 13 awards during the year 2015-16. During the current year, in pursuit of our aspiration to transform, we have partnered with Messrs. Boston Consulting Group, a leading global management consulting firm and the world's advisor on business strategy. KBL Vikas, our transformation project, was launched on 29th November 2017. For project management, a separate transformation cell has been established at head office with a general manager designated as Chief Transformation Officer. The project KBL Vikas will work on end-to-end transformation of our bank with people-centric approach and digital as an enabler to make the bank big, strong, and vibrant, and also a socially responsible and commercially viable banking institution. We have been inviting great personalities from different walks of life to grace the Founders Day celebrations and to deliver Founders Day lecture. This year, we have Sadhguru amidst us. I am aware that Sadhguru needs no introduction, who is an international spiritual brand by himself. Nevertheless, as a formality, I am trying to introduce him before you. I know that it will be like showing a drop of water from the big ocean. Ranked amongst the 50 most influential people in India, Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, visionary, and of course, a best-selling author. Sadhguru has been conferred the Padma Vibhushan by the Government of India in 2017 for his exceptional and distinguished service. Probing and passionate, insightful, logical, and unfailingly witty, Sadhguru's talks have earned him the reputation of an extraordinary speaker and opinion maker of renown. With his astute and incisive grasp of current issues and world affairs, as well as his unerringly scientific approach to the question of human well-being, he has been a primary speaker at the United Nations World Headquarters, a regular at the World Economic Forum, and a special invitee at the Australian Leadership Retreat, Indian Economic Summit, and TED, to name a few. He has also been invited to speak at leading educational institutions including Oxford, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Wharton, and MIT, among others. Sadhguru recently started a historic nationwide rally for Rivers campaign for a comprehensive draft policy for revitalization of India's fast depleting rivers. Sadhguru personally drove over 9,300 kilometers covering 16 states and over 142 public events he has attended. This great rally received great support from over 160 million people across the political spectrum, from all the state governments, the central government, and people from all walks of life. This was one public rally for river, which I was referring at the beginning. The one which was held at Bangalore, I was fortunate to attend that rally. With a celebratory engagement with life on all levels, Sadhguru's areas of active involvement encompass fields in diverse as architecture, visual design, poetry and painting, ecology and horticulture, sports, music, aviation, and whatnot. 3 decades ago, Sadhguru founded Isha Foundation, a non-profit human service organization with human well-being as its core commitment. Supported by over 7 million volunteers in over 250 centers worldwide. Last year, the world's largest statue of Adiyogi, measuring 112 feet, was inaugurated at Isha Foundation, Coimbatore. The annual Mahashivratri Utsav at Isha Foundation, Coimbatore, is an world event eagerly awaited by millions of people across the globe. It is our rare and a great privilege to have such an outstanding personality amidst us. Today, Sadhguru will talk on the topic Life Audit. Please join me in extending a very, very warm welcome to Sadhguru. Today's function is presided by Sri P. Jairama Bhatt, Chairman of the Bank, who has been a source of inspiration to all of us. I am happy to mention that our Chairman, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, has been figured in the list of top 30 best CEOs of BFSI sector for the year 2016-17, published by Business Today magazine very recently. Sir, I extend a warm welcome to you. The bank has a unique privilege of having professional directors on the board who have been the driving force in steering the bank on the path of growth and success. Their presence is recognized with great pleasure, and I extend warm welcome to our directors, Sri Ashok Harnalli, sir. Sir, please. Sri Ashok Harnalli, Madam Srimati Usha Ganesh, Sri Ram Mohan Rao Belle, Sri B.A. Prabhakar, Sri U. Ravindra Bhatt, and Sri Keshav K. Desai. Of course, Sri Dharmasthala Surendra Kumar is expected to join us. And of course, they are also joined by their family members, and I extend a very warm welcome to them as well. I heartily welcome our legal advisor, Sri M.V. Shankar Bhatt, and also our statutory auditors to this function. Host of luminaries of Mangaluru and Dakshina Kannada district, led by Captain Ganesh Karthik, he is there, and fellow bankers from Corporation Bank and all other banks, and of course many elected representatives, officials of district and city administration, led by Dr. Ravikante Gowda, Superintendent of Police of our Dakshina Kannada district, valued customers and well-wishers of our bank from all over the country, our past directors, including former Advocate General of Karnataka, Sri B.V. Acharya sir, all of them have come here, and also our many shareholders are all with us today. My heartiest welcome to all of them for this momentous occasion. I also extend a warm welcome to all my brothers and sisters from Isha Foundation. I extend a warm welcome to all my executive colleagues, regional heads, presidents and general secretaries, and the office bearers of All India Karnataka Bank Employees Association, and Karnataka Bank Officers Organization, retired executives, and all the serving as well as retired staff members of Karnataka Bank present on this occasion. I also recognize the august presence of Srimati Shubha Jairam Bhatt, Srimati I. Umadevi Krishna Bhatt, Srimati Annapurna Mahabaleshwar, and all other leading ladies of Karnataka Bank family. I also welcome the members of print and electronic media who are all sitting there on the left side of this dais. I extend my hearty welcome to Srimati Ushalata, Station Director of All India Radio Mangaluru, and her team who have arranged to air this program live. So please give a big round of applause to All India Radio team. As well as my warm welcome to Sri Leelaksha B. Karkera and his team of Namakudla TV channel who are beaming this program live. Further, the bank is live streaming this event on YouTube, and this event will also be shared on Facebook and Twitter handle of Karnataka Bank to reach our well-wishers and valued customers across the globe. I also recognize the gracious presence of the representatives of our channel partners and business associates, PNB MetLife, led by Mr. Ashish Kumar Srivatsav, the Managing Director of PNB MetLife, Infosys, LIC of India, Universal Sompo General Insurance Company, Bajaj Alliance Life as well as General Insurance, BCG, FIS, MRL Postnet, Oracle, iExceed, Elco Technologies, Franklin Templeton, Reliance, HDFC, and other mutual funds. I extend a warm welcome to all my business partners. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are stepping into the 95th year of our purposeful service to the nation. On this great occasion, we reiterate our commitment to be progressive, prosperous, and well-governed bank and march ahead with dedicated employees to make our customers delighted, stakeholders elated, regulator satisfied, and finally the society benefited. That is the motto of your Karnataka Bank. Once again, warm welcome to all of you to this memorable and historic Founders Day of Karnataka Bank. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of warm welcome and introductory address. Flowers are the sweetest thing God ever made and forgot to put his soul into. Flowers form a remarkably vital part of nature and our life. Flowers are given to express thoughts of cheer, gratitude, encouragement, salutation, and admiration. Flowers spread their fragrance around, and we at KBL would like to spread the same fragrance of admiration and gratitude towards the people who are an integral part of the program today. So may I now request our beloved chairman, Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt, and our MD and CEO, Shri Mahabaleshwara MS, to offer a floral welcome and felicitate our chief guest, Sadhguru, as a token of our love, respect, and affection. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Sadhguru. Thank you, sirs. May I now request our MD and CEO, Shri Mahabaleshwara MS, to welcome our chairman, Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt, with a floral bouquet. Warm welcome to you too, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the most awaited time of this afternoon has come. We are all here to listen to Sadhguru as he delivers the much awaited Founders Day lecture on the topic Life Audit. The stage is set and may I now request Padma Vibhushan awardee, founder of Isha Foundation, ever humble, witty, and a man full of humor, fondly known as Sadhguru, to deliver the Founders Day lecture. Dear Sadhguru, weave your magic and wit on us and make us enlighten. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Sadhguru. Dear sir, the stage and the time is all yours now.
चरण कृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा अपराधम् विहितम् अविहितं वा सर्वमेतच्छमस्व। जय जय करुणाब्धे, जय जय करुणाब्धे। श्री महादेव शंभो। Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone. I said namaskaram. I thought you're not on talking terms with me already. I have very fond memories of Mangalore as a city. Spent a lot of time about 35 years ago on the coast and particularly in this city. It's wonderful to be here again. Also, I would like to acknowledge that today is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's Jayanti, a great being. Of course, it's Karnataka Bank. In the making of a nation, bringing well-being to a nation is not dependent upon its military successes, its political circus that goes on, but it's the success of the businesses which make a nation well. This is one nation which knew this very well in the past, but somehow we forgot this in the last 100, 200 years. The most business-oriented nation on the planet was this nation, Bharat. But being an occupied nation for a period of time, somehow we went into a different kind of mode altogether. Well, once again we were beginning to buzz. So the well-being of a nation is in its businesses, and the stability and the well-being of businesses will depend on its banking systems. It's unfortunate that right now nation is being rocked by banking scams, but how stable and how reliable and resilient the banking systems of a nation are will determine how successful a nation is. Bangalore city and this region has mothered 5 major banks in the nation today, which is something you must take pride in. So the sense of how to manage money and who should manage money is an important aspect of a social structure. In the process of building this structure, we've gone through in this country many ups and downs. But we have come to a place once again where our understanding has come to this, that in the end it's the private enterprise which needs to run the banks. If the money doesn't belong to anybody, that money is not safe. It needs to belong to somebody. Only then it's well protected and taken care of. It doesn't belong to anybody. It sounds very democratic and nice, but it doesn't really work like that. So, there are many private banks which are coming up. I think it's a matter of 15 to 25 years when private banking will exceed the nationalized banks. It is definitely going in that direction, because handling of money needs agility. Businesses need agility of finance, not bureaucracy of finance. I think private enterprises are definitely far more equipped to maintain that agility than large government enterprises. As I said, money doesn't belong to anybody. So having said that, yes, money is an important aspect of the social structure, of the national fabric, of our international status and capabilities, of what we can do. But above all, it's always the people. If we don't build great people, we will not build a great nation. I think there has been a serious deficit in this direction in these 70 years. We have not built too many men of money, we have built too many men for money. It's good to have men of wealth and money, because nation needs that. But if there are too many people who live for money, then that nation will suffer. I think we have that little bit of we have that ailment substantially. And we need to cure ourselves of this ailment. Till we understand that money is just a means to create what we want to create. A whole lot of people were shocked by certain things that happened in the last 1 year. I think in India we started thinking, money is a commodity by itself. Money is not a commodity, money is just a transactional tool. Unfortunately, people started thinking it's a commodity and they started putting it in warehouses. Money should not be in the warehouse, should definitely be in the bank. Commodities should be in warehouses. So mistaking currency for commodity can cause a huge upheaval in the nation, which we have suffered and we are trying to correct. But ultimately it's the people. So when we use the word audit, it generally always concerns money. But I'm talking about life audit. When I say life audit, if you just look back and see, in many ways, apart from various goals that we may have, larger visions that we may have, that's a different aspect. For most human beings, everything that they're doing in their life is essentially in pursuit of their well-being. That's so? It's a question. Hello? Is that so? Whatever you're doing is in pursuit of your well-being. Somebody thinks money will bring well-being, somebody thinks knowledge will bring well-being, somebody thinks wealth will do it, somebody thinks love will do it, somebody thinks relationships will do it, somebody thinks God will do it, somebody thinks only by going to heaven it's going to happen. But every human being is seeking well-being. When we say well-being, what is well-being? If I ask you a simple question, when do you feel well in your life? Hello? When do you really feel well? When you have no worries, that's a terrible compromise. Huh? Oh, if family is happy and you are not, it still doesn't work, right? When you are joyful, you're well, isn't it? Even if you're medically ill, if you're very joyful, you're still well, isn't it? So essentially, a human being and every other life, I want you to look at every life, whether it's a worm or an insect or a bird or an animal or a tree, all of them are striving to become full-fledged life. Yes? A worm wants to be a full-fledged worm, a grasshopper wants to be a full-fledged grasshopper, a mango tree wants to be a full-fledged mango tree. Similarly, a human being wants to be a full-fledged human being. Only problem is, we know what is a full-fledged worm, we know what is a full-fledged grasshopper, we know what is a full-fledged tree, but we don't know what is a full-fledged human being. Wherever you are, you want to be something more. Yes or no? Hello? Wherever you are, you want to be something more. If that something more happens, what? Something more, that happened, what? Something more. So when I look at this, it looks like you're trying to get somewhere in installments. So suppose I make you the king or queen of this planet. Don't look at me hopefully. Do I look like someone who will make such a blunder? If I make you the king or queen of this planet, will you be fulfilled, I'm asking you? No, you will look at the other planets. If I give you the solar system, you look at the other galaxy, isn't it? Yes or no? So this is the nature of the human being. You want to expand in a limitless way, but you're approaching your limitlessness in installments, that's the whole problem. If one wants to, every human being is doing this, but unconsciously. When you do it unconsciously, it happens, it takes on many different forms, some of them pretty, some of them grotesque, some of them very ugly, some of them very painful. If the longing to expand finds a very basic physical expression, we call this sexuality. If it finds an emotional expression, we call this love. If it finds a mental expression, it gets labeled as greed, conquest, or simply shopping. If it finds a conscious expression, we call this yoga. Yoga means union. That means this longing to expand is not for something more. This wants to become all. Yoga means union. That means the limitations of being an individual, the limited boundaries of being an individual, in some sense have been erased. If you sit here, you have a much larger experience of life, a cosmic experience of life. If one has to be successful, you need to have some audit on your life. When you were 5 years of age, how joyful you were in 24 hours' time. How many moments of joy you knew in 24 hours' time. Today, whatever your age, has it gone up or gone down? Hello? So this is in the red business. This is a losing business. Yes or no? This is a loss-making business because at 5, if you were so joyful, by the time you were 30, you should have become ecstatic. Instead of… When I see a lot of people walking on the street, driving their dream machines, so I think maybe they're practicing, their last position in the grave, how to be. Believe me, you don't have to practice, you will get it. You'll naturally get it, You don't have to practice it all your life, you will get it. Because have you ever seen anybody dying inefficiently? Hello? But life is always inefficient, isn't it? Whatever you do, there is something more to do. Life needs attention. You don't have to practice death, how to be in the grave, stiff. Now, this is manifested in all levels, not just… You must keep a life audit. How joyful you are. From yesterday to today, are you better or worse? How flexible you are. When you were a child, believe me, we could have made you do any asana. Now, this furniture has destroyed you so badly that most people cannot even sit on the floor anymore. See, what you were capable of doing with your limbs at one time, if you lose that ability, that is called being crippled, isn't it so? Hello? Somebody cannot walk, you say he's crippled, isn't it? Somebody cannot sit. You're very serious in Bangalore, what's happening? Huh? Oh. No, I'm not going. Please listen. I just want to have a better look at you because I want to see what kind of posture you're holding. When you were a child, you were flexible. You were joyful by your own nature. Somebody had to make you unhappy at that time, isn't it? Now somebody has to make you happy. How the equations have gotten reversed? Today, if you have to be happy, how many things we have to fix? Your wife should be like that, your husband should be like this, your children should be like that, your bank balance should be some other way, your house should be some other way, the world has to change. Too many conditions for you to just be joyful. To be joyful is not a goal by itself, it is a basic requirement. If you want to enjoy the food that you eat, if you want to enjoy the people that you live with, if you want to enjoy the activity that you perform, if you want to just enjoy a walk on the beach, you must be joyful, isn't it so? Hello? Oh, you got a voice. If you are not peaceful and happy, you cannot even enjoy the food that you eat. So I'm asking you to be peaceful and joyful. Is it the ultimate goal of your life or is it the most basic requirement in your life? It's a basic requirement. But today even so-called spiritual teachers are going about saying to be to have peace of mind is the ultimate goal of your life, such people will only rest in peace. This happened. I was to speak at Tel Aviv, and I flew out of Atlanta in United States, and I am to land there in mid-morning and speak at 6:30 in the evening. But due to some flight delays, I land there at 6 in the evening. And I quickly change in the airport and I'm rushing. And in this 36 years, I have not been late to a single appointment in my life. So I don't want to break it, so I quickly change and I'm rushing. And I'm famished, super hungry I am. Because I'm flying an American airline, there is nothing edible on that plane. Then I reach the venue. This doesn't happen to me at all, but on that day it happened. I happened to be speaking at a fine restaurant. This doesn't happen to me at all. I said, this is it, when you're so hungry, just the right place. Restaurants are famous for different things. Some restaurants are famous for the food that they serve. Some restaurants are famous for the ambience that they provide. Some restaurants are famous for the conversations that happen in that restaurant. It seems the most intelligent conversations in Tel Aviv happens in this restaurant, not in the parliament. I'm saying we are not unique. Then I walked in, people were greeting me. One man comes up to me and says, "Shalom." I ask him, what does it mean? He says, "This is the highest way of greeting." I said, "Well, that's your opinion, but what does it mean?" He said, "No, really, this is the highest way of greeting." I said, "That's all right, but what does the word mean?" Then he says, "It means peace." Then I said, why would peace be the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East? In South India, somebody comes up to me in the morning and says, "Peace." I'll say, "What's wrong with you today?" Anything that you deprive yourself of slowly climbs to heaven. If you have not eaten for 5 days, God appeared. What? Food, of course. So anything that you deprive yourself of will slowly climb to heaven. Today if you say peace, people say divine peace. If you say bliss, people will say divine bliss. If you say joy, people say divine joy. Well, if you say love, people will say divine love. I'm asking you to be peaceful, joyful, loving, blissful. Are all these things human capabilities? Hello? Are they human capabilities or no? Yes. Unfortunately, all these things have been exported to heaven. If you say peace, they will look up. If you say joy, they will look up. No, you're looking up, all right. You must tell me, because in Bangalore there is a confusion. In Mangalore, you must tell me, is this planet round or flat? Please tell me. Round. No Bangalore people here. They believe it's flat these days. The planet is round and it's also spinning. So if you look up, you will inevitably look up in the wrong direction, isn't it so? Hello? I'm asking you, in this cosmos, in this vast cosmos, do you know which side is up? Do you know which side is up? Is it somewhere marked this side up? No. When you do not even know which is up, how do you know who is up? We have completely misunderstood these things. A land which lived with profound levels of perception and understanding, today we've made it into a clownish belief systems. The profoundness of perception in this land, the profoundness of knowledge in this land has been such that we knew how to live a life of fulfillment. Because of that fulfillment, everything that we did was also of a certain stature and quality. Because of that, we became the most powerful economic nation at one time. Just 300 years ago, we were the largest economy on the planet. Nobody had even thought of organized business like us. All this happened not because of our greed for money, it happened because we raised the stature of individual human beings to such a place that everything that they did naturally was of high quality. Without raising the stature of individual human beings, you cannot raise a society or a nation, because words, society, nation, world, these are all just words. It's only the people, isn't it? It's just you and me. Yes or no? This is the only reality. If you want to upgrade something, you have to upgrade this one, this one, this one and this one. There is no society to upgrade, isn't it? But we have lost focus on this because we have a mass manufacturing education system. It's like a mass production. Everybody goes through the same extruder, everybody comes out with the same degree, everybody comes out with the same stupid textbook in their head. Of course, they vomit it in the exam and forget about it, fortunately. We have moved from producing great human beings to producing products, human products. Products can fit into some machine and function somehow, but they will not create anything fantastic. Something fantastic has to happen. It is important we are willing to pay enough attention to every single individual, otherwise it's not going to happen. So you have to keep an audit on yourself, whatever is your age. You can use the cutoff age. I'm starting at 5. But if you don't like 5, start at 15, all right? If you don't like 15, you start at 30, whatever you like, you fix it. From that day to this day, in every way, are you better or worse? You have to keep an audit, isn't it? External audits are not good, then it leads to a fight. It happens in family situations, there's external audit daily. External audit will lead to conflict. Internal audit is good, isn't it? Hello? So, how joyful you are, from yesterday to today are you better? How flexible you are. Flexibility of the body is very important for one's well-being. It's not just about your ability to sit and stand and bend and twist, it's not about that. If this system has to be conducive to allow life to happen in full flow, this has to be flexible. If it becomes totally stiff, we call this rigor mortis. You know? See, when somebody dies, the first thing that begins to happen is he loses all flexibility, isn't it? If you're already losing it, you're even doing death in installments. No, this is not good. Hello? You don't have to buy death in installments, it will come anyway. Are you afraid it will not happen to you? Hello? See, the best thing about life is, nobody fails in this life, everybody passes. The way people are buying death in installments, it looks like they fear they may not die. They fear, suppose they detain me because I didn't do well. There is no such thing. Whichever way you do, live a great life or a lousy life, anyway they will pass you. So this assurance I'm giving you right now. Anyway you shall pass. So, result is pass. Now you can at least have fun, isn't it? Huh? If you're concerned about the result, what will happen, then there's a lot of tension. Anyway you are pass, already pass. All you have to do is make the experience of life as profound as possible. That's all there is in your hands, isn't it? Of course you need a bank account. But do not mistake instruments of survival as instruments of life. What is an instrument of survival which facilitates a certain amount of comfort and well-being, physical well-being and material well-being? Do not mistake that for life. Are you alive? First I'm asking you. Hello? Are you alive? Some of you are not saying anything. Are you alive? If you're alive, then this body, this mind, your home, your car, your wealth, your family are all accessories, isn't it? Huh? But if you get too busy adding too many accessories, then it's like having too many frills and no skirt. Yes, very embarrassing. Yes? We have a nice skirt, we add some frill for decoration. But too much frill and no skirt is an embarrassing way to live, isn't it? Right now this is beginning to happen to people. We have misunderstood instruments of survival as instruments of life. There's only one instrument of life, that is the life within you, isn't it? The rest is all just arrangements. I will not tell you how much arrangement you should make. It's up to you. It's your individual requirement. But you must consciously come to this, what is the arrangement I need for this life to function well? How much arrangement do I need? See, here they're growing some flowering trees on the street side. It needs some soil and little water in early age, after that somehow. Not much arrangement is needed to keep them alive and going. But if you plant a mango tree, it will need much more arrangement. If you plant a coconut tree, needs much more arrangement. If accordingly, whichever way the crop is, that individual life is, accordingly it needs different levels of arrangement. But arrangement should not exceed the life, isn't it? Hello? What arrangements we make for ourselves should not exceed the life that we are. I was in a home in the United States and I wanted to use the restroom. Normally I know the architecture of these US homes, how they are, I know generally where this restroom will be there for the guests. So I go and open it. It's a large room, let us say 2 times the size of this stage. I opened and saw, then racks and racks of shoes, footwear. I walked in, then I got interested and I just walked in looking. Then it took me a little while to see that all of them were ladies' footwear. Initially I thought maybe they're into some kind of footwear business or something. I'm talking about 700 to 800 pairs of footwear. I thought they must be in some footwear business, but I know both of them are doctors. By then the lady of the house came in, "Sadhguru, Sadhguru, why are you here, why are you here?" I said, "Well, I was looking for the restroom and I just walked into this room, what's all this footwear?" No Sadhguru, we'll go." I said, "What is all this footwear?" "Yours, because they're all one size." I said, "You got enough footwear for 10 lifetimes. You can't wear these 700, 800 pairs of footwear even in 10 lifetimes, you can't wear them off, you got to do a lot of walking." Then I was trying to understand, what is this thing? Okay, you want one to the office, one to the party, one to this, and you have 10 different colors and all this you did, okay, 20, 700. I was just thinking, and then I asked somebody, why do they buy so many footwear? So this guy told me, he said, "Sadhguru, the reason why the ladies are buying so many footwear is that's the only thing which remains the same size for them." So same size footwear from 18 to 80, you're wearing, that gives them some joy. I said, okay, this is a revelation. Now, arrangements we can make as we need for each individual, whatever arrangements we need. But arrangements should not overwhelm our life, arrangements should facilitate our life. But a lot of people are losing this fundamental, and arrangements either in terms of wealth, money, knowledge, relationships, in every way, arrangements are overwhelming the life that we are. Arrangements should support the life that we are, enhance the life that we are. The idea of adding an accessory is to enhance, not to drown it, isn't it? So you need to keep an audit, not just on your money, on the life. How alive are you right now? This is a big question. How alive you were when you were 5 years of age and how alive you are today. Has it gone up or gone down? That also down? That means you're committing suicide in installments. See, with age, agility may go down, but aliveness need not go down. Hello? If you're 100, can you be as alive as a 5-year-old child or no? He's saying no, why? You cannot be as agile, but you can be as alive. Unless you have chosen to die in installments. Even if you're dying today, you can be as alive. Aliveness does not go down. Physical body, of course, loses its capabilities over a period of time, but the life is not in any way worn out, isn't it? But it's getting worn out because of variety of things we're doing wrong. So keeping an audit, first of all, where is my life going in terms of life? Not in terms of career, not in terms of my financial well-being, not in terms of wealth, but where is this life going? Is this life becoming better every day? Is my experience of life becoming better? Is my experience of life far more profound than the way it was yesterday? Is something that everybody must keep audit. If this life audit is not there, after 10 years you see, what happened? You don't know what happened. If you don't keep accounts, your business runs into red and you don't know. One day you're broke, that's all, isn't it? One day you're bankrupt. So any successful business, or a bank especially, I don't know how some banks did not keep the audit. Daily, every day, there's a closing balance, I hope. Yes? You don't leave the premises till you settle things, because this is important, otherwise you don't know where you're going. Once in 10 years if you check, nothing will be left. That's happening to life. And do you agree with me? The most precious thing that you have in your life right now, what is the most precious thing that you have in your life? It's not your money, it's not your wealth, it's not your knowledge, it's not even your relationships, it's your life, isn't it? Hello? You're alive right now, isn't this the most important thing right now? But we are not keeping audit on that. How alive am I? Am I fully alive or half alive? I was speaking to a group of people at the Princeton University in New Jersey. Over 400 people sitting there, all academics. A few students, except for a handful of young faces which were looking a little bright, all others were… I just looked around, maybe in the university it's the weight of the knowledge, it's made their faces so long. Then I tell them a joke, they agree with me. Then I ask them, what's the matter with all these people who are over 30 years of age? Why are you carrying such a long face? Then one lady stands up and says, they're all married. I thought people are getting married to multiply their joy. If they're getting married to multiply their misery, there needs to be a law about this, huh? Hello? When every life is aspiring to be joyful, two people are conspiring to make it miserable, something needs to be done about this, isn't it? The problem is we have forgotten why we have come together. We have forgotten why we have come together, isn't it? In many ways this is happening, but the fundamental reason is there is no life audit. There is simply no life audit. If you had kept your life audit from your school days, by now you should be bursting with ecstasy, isn't it? Yes or no? But no audit, you will one day find out that you are a loss-making business. Not for any reason, nothing is wrong with most people's lives. People who are in war zones, in famine areas and other kinds of things, it's different. But for all of you, let me ask you, when was the last time somebody poked you with a dagger? Hello? Even in Mangalore they did not do it to you. I'm asking, how much of your suffering ever coming from outside? How much of your suffering? Minuscule, isn't it? Yes or no? The rest is all self-help, isn't it? Rest is all on self-help, that you don't need anybody's help, you're capable of poking yourself every day by yourself. People come to me and say, Sadhguru, I can't bear this, my mother-in-law, oh, she's terrible. My husband, after all, her son. My wife, impossible. My boss, not even human. Like this, I tell them, you come to the yoga center, your mother-in-law, husband, wife, boss, nobody will be allowed, just you. You come, I'll give you a nice place to stay and good food to eat, nothing to do. Just be joyful, that's all. Only thing is, I will make random checks on you. If I find you're miserable, I don't believe in feeding misery, we will stop feeding you. But if you're joyful, for the rest of your life we'll take care of you. Nobody passes, huh? You leave them in a room for 24 hours. Within 24 hours, in how many ways they twist themselves all by themselves without any assistance from anybody is unbelievable. See, when you're alone, if you're miserable, you're obviously in bad company, isn't it? Hello? I'm with you and I'm miserable, I can blame it on you, it's because of him. I'm alone and I'm miserable, obviously bad company, isn't it? It is time we look at this. Unfortunately, we have not invested anything in this direction. We think well-being will simply happen. It doesn't simply happen. Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Does the bank believe that or no? When it comes to money, unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Why is that not true with your life? With your well-being, with your health, with your joy? Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. But there is a whole lot of tamasha going on in the country that don't worry, you can do the most idiotic things and if you… whatever your thing is, depending upon what you're identified with, if you do this, this and that somewhere, suddenly everything will be fixed, everything will be okay. They've been saying this for a long time. It's not been okay, isn't it? It's like this. It once happened. Shankaran Pillai fell into the septic tank. You know septic tank? I want you to visualize yourself. You fell into the septic tank, right up till here in filth, desperately tried to come out. He could not come out. Then he started shouting, fire, fire. Neighbors heard this fire call and they called the fire brigade. The firemen came rushing, they looked all over the place, no fire. Then they found him in the septic tank. They pulled him out and they said, where is the fire? Why were you screaming fire? Shankaran Pillai retorted, if I said shit, would you come? Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. whether in the outside world or in the inner world. Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Your joy, your health, your well-being, your peace, your ecstasy, unless you do right things about it, they will not happen to you. As it is true with money and wealth and career and everything, the same is true with the inner nature also, unless you do the right things. If you're not doing the right things are not happening, or right things are not happening simply because you have not figured out what is the right thing to do. We are going by a lot of, all kinds of things, all kinds of teachings, philosophies, ideologies, too many things. But I want you to understand, this is a land. This is a land which always told you that your life is your karma. Did they? Hello? Yeah, but now what you have done is ayo karma. Ayo is an official English language dictionary word now, you can use it. You know that? In the Oxford Dictionary there is ayo. This is the South Indian contribution to Oxford Dictionary. Ayo karma means, how did it come to me? Let's understand this. Karma means action. Whose action? My action. So when you say, my life is my karma, it means my life is my making. As you sit here, you are doing action, physical action, mental action, emotional action and energy action. 4 dimensions of activity are happening in wakefulness and in sleep. Yes or no? Now, if I ask you, since you woke up today morning, how much of your physical action, mental action, emotional and energy action did you do consciously? How much do you think percentage? Less than 1%, believe me. When 99% of your actions are unconscious, obviously life will be accidental. You do one thing, you drive now from here to your home. If you're… let's say the drive takes 10 minutes, keep your eyes closed for 9 minutes, open it only for 10%. You know what will happen to you, we know where to pick you up. Yes or no? But this is how we are driving this machine. This is the most sophisticated machine. Do you agree with me? Human mechanism. This is the machine on the planet. But this we are driving unconsciously. 99% of the time unconsciously, and we expect something wonderful to happen. It will not happen like that. It is very, very important that as we are relying on technology to do almost everything on the outside, there are technologies for inner well-being. We need to employ this. This is the USP of this nation. This culture invested phenomenally. When you hear, wherever any story you hear, you talk about rishis, munis, yogis, sages and seers, what this means is people who invested in the technologies of inner well-being. This is our USP, we have explored the inner nature of human mechanism like nobody else on the planet. And if we don't make use of it, it's no good. People say, when I'm outside the country, people ask me, in India everybody's practicing yoga, isn't it? I say, okay, please don't come to India and see our plight. There are more… in terms of percentages, there are more people practicing yoga in United States than in India, unfortunately. This is a fact. Well, now American universities are saying yoga will do this to you, that to you, so now some people are taking it up. But the technologies of well-being, if you don't make use of it, you are well accidentally. When you are well accidentally, anxiety is natural, isn't it? Fear is natural, terror will come, it's just a question of time. It is important that you take this life, this is your karma. I want you to understand, this is a country, this is a culture which is a godless culture. We know the technology of how to create gods, that's why we created 33 million gods and goddesses. We know how to create a form which will reverberate and do things for us. But we always told you, your life is your karma. We never told you there's a manager sitting up there and doing things for you. You have to take charge of this. So this is the moment we are trying to cause in the country and in the world, moving people from religion to responsibility. We have to move from religion to responsibility, that your well-being, your joy, your love, your peace, your health, your well-being and your ultimate well-being, is it your responsibility, I'm asking you? Huh? It's time to come to this, isn't it? We can't go on looking up without even knowing which is up. Not up, not out, in. In is the only way out. Thank you.
The city of Mangalore and the people are blessed by our Sadhguru's presence today. His messages will remain engraved in our minds for a very, very long time to come. Particularly, his remark that our society has more men for money than men of money is an eye-opener for us and given us food of thought for a very long time to come. Sadhguru, thank you for your thoughtful, life-changing, transformative messages laced with wit and humor. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for Sadhguru. Thank you, one and all. Every human venture can be called successful when every enterprise makes a difference to the common man. Corporate social responsibility is one of the most important business ethics for an organization to become successful. CSR initiatives have made wonders in our country. We at KBL strongly believe in the vision and values set forth by our founding fathers. We are a socially responsible and commercially viable organization. We are extremely happy to announce on this momentous occasion some of our new CSR initiatives. The representatives of the concerned organizations are with us today. As I announce their names, I request them to come down to the stage and collect the bank's commitment letter of financial assistance or demand draft, as the case may be, towards the chosen initiatives from the dignitaries on the dais. May I now call on the stage Padma Shri Dr. V.R. Gauri Shankar, CEO and Administrator of Shri Sringeri Sharada Peetham, to collect the demand draft of rupees 21,42,000 being bank's contribution to procure comprehensive laundry equipment system for Rangadorai Memorial Hospital, Bengaluru. The hospital was established under the aegis of Sringeri Mutt and has been offering many specialized treatment facilities of high cost at subsidized rates to the poor and common man who otherwise cannot afford it. The comprehensive laundry equipment to be procured is expected to significantly contribute towards improving the overall cleanliness of the services rendered at the hospital. Thank you, sirs. May I please call on the stage Shri Harish HR, District Governor, Lions Club International of District 317D, to collect bank's offer letter of financial assistance of rupees 10 lakhs to set up a gasifier crematorium at Chikkamangaluru. The eco-friendly gasifier will significantly reduce the quantity of firewood in combustion and leave lesser carbon footprint in the ecology, thus protecting our nature. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the gentleman. Thank you, sirs. May I now please call onto the stage Shri Manohar Katgiri, CEO of Bharatiya Vikas Trust Udupi, to collect bank's offer letter of additional financial assistance of rupees 2,50,000 to their student solar light scholarship project, wherein solar lights are installed at an unelectrified households of students from low economic backgrounds. The project aims to help students to perform better in their academics. With this additional round of support, bank's total contribution for the above project now stands at rupees 15 lakhs. So we have an open house. That's a special request being made by Sadhguru. So maybe we'll give you a few minutes now. So we have the mic just passing on. So if you have any questions, over to you all, my dear invitees. So can we have the mic? Yes. Please introduce yourself, ma'am.
Namaskar Sadhguru. I am Usha Prabhanayak, Vice Chairperson of a institution, expert group of institutions. My question is, you said is the time for us to move from religion to responsibility. I am born and brought up in Mangalore. We are moving more towards religion. So what should we do, and what is the best way to come out and really to move towards responsibility towards this country and the globe?
I do not know what's the exact situation in Mangalore, so I won't comment on that. But see, we need to understand this. In this country, we have never been a nation of belief. We have always been a nation of seeking. Listen. We've always been a nation of seeking. Even when divine entities that we recognized as divine came, we only saw it as an opportunity to ask them 1,000 questions. We only saw it as an opportunity to bring clarity to us. They could never give us commandments. When Adiyogi Shiva came, his wife Parvati threw thousands of questions at him. Well, the more famous one, when Krishna came, Arjuna throwing endless amount of questions. We've always been a nation of seekers. This is the fundamental ethos of this nation, that we are not a nation of believers, we are a nation of seekers. Because the highest value in this country has never been God. Freedom or liberation has been the highest value, mukti is the highest value, not God or heaven, never been so. We're kind of trying to compete with, what we have received from outside. We are trying to compete with them, and that's a big mess anyway. But it's important now, because the time has come for that in many ways. Is it true, now that you're in education, you're constantly meeting young people, is it true that more individual human beings are beginning to think for themselves than ever before? In the history of humanity, it never happened that such a large percentage of human beings can think for themselves. Whether they're thinking right or wrong, we can question that, but they're at least thinking for themselves. All these many millennia, it is the pandits, priests, gurus, mullahs, others who thought for you, or a book taught for you, not you. Now for the first time, human beings are beginning to think for themselves. When you think for yourself, even if somebody else thinks you're not logically correct, as far as you're concerned, you're thinking logically, isn't it? When you think logically, 1,000 questions will come about everything, you cannot avoid it. Only if you believe something, no questions, because if you ask question, usually you're dead. That's one way of handling a question, I won't do that, okay? One way of handling the questions is kill the questioner. Question is gone, at least for some time. No, that is not the culture. This is here, even when divine entities came, they could not give us a commandment and say, this is it. They had to explain and explain and explain. If they explained one thing, we asked another question and another question and another question, isn't it? Endless questions, because this is a land of seeking one's own ultimate nature, seeking ultimate liberation in life, not the comfort of heaven, not going and sitting in God's lap. Such a thing never existed here. Mukti is the highest value, not God. God can be one more stepping stone for you. Now, a time has come that so many people are beginning to think for themselves. Human intellect is blossoming like never before. Now, belief systems or heaven will start collapsing. Believe me, in the next 40 years to 60 years' time, heavens in the world will collapse. Already in your mind it's collapsed largely, isn't it? Hello? You going to heaven? No. In your mind it's already collapsed, but you're still afraid to ask the question, but your children will ask the question. Yes or no? If you don't dare to ask the question, your children will ask the question. Heavens are collapsing. When heavens collapse, there are two options. One thing is, we can go wild here trying to do all kinds of things, which is beginning to happen. The consumption of alcohol and drugs has gone up. In the last 25 years, it has gone up probably 10,000%. That means 100 times. Has it not gone up? Huh?
Yes.
In the city, there would be 10 people, somewhere outside they will sit and drink and they will eat this and that so that the family doesn't know and come home. They'd say, oh, he's a drunkard, we can't give our girls to that family, this kind of stuff. Now if you don't drink, nobody will come to your wedding, huh? Yes? Yes or no? It's gone up like that. Why this is happening is, you must understand, the hope of going to a better place somewhere is going away. The heaven is collapsing. We are still not courageous enough to admit, but somewhere we believe that it doesn't matter, when we go there everything will be perfect. That hope is slowly dissolving in everybody's mind. A few people are still strong on it, that's different, but that'll go. So when heavens collapse, either people can move into this kind of things, or we can guide them to an inner possibility. When I say an inner possibility, whether you take a drug or drink alcohol or do whatever the hell you do, the experience is created from within, isn't it so? Huh?
Yes.
Human experience of pain and pleasure, joy and misery, agony and ecstasy, everything happening from within you or no? If you take charge of this, that is, you have taken charge of the mechanism which causes experience, if you were capable of determining the nature of your experience right now, would you keep yourself blissful or miserable?
Blissful.
Huh? You must choose, I'm going to bless you, all of you. Bliss or misery? You must choose, I'm going to bless you right now. Blissfulness or misery?
Blissful.
For yourself, definitely highest level of pleasantness. What you want for your neighbor may be debatable, but what you want for yourself is 100% clear, isn't it? Why such a simple thing is not happening? What happens from within you must happen your way, isn't it? The world will not happen your way. Even if you're two people in the family, it does not happen 100% your way, isn't it? If it's happening 51% your way, you're the boss. 100% it never happened, isn't it so? Nobody happened 100% your way. But is it not important? What happens within you happens your way? Huh? What happens, how somebody happens, how the world happens is not your way, that's not the problem. You're not happening your way, that is the biggest problem, isn't it? Now that heavens are collapsing, you okay if I tell you a joke? Huh? You all right? Very serious, huh? What is this? This happened in Alabama. You heard of Alabama state? It's a very special state. In Alabama, a Sunday school preacher was going on full fire. Full-on rhetoric was going on. In this rhetoric, he stopped and asked. Unfortunately, the audience were not like you, they were all tiny tots, catch them young policy. He asked in a booming voice, "What do you have to do to go to heaven?" Little Mary, who was sitting in the front row, stood up and said, "If I scrub the church floor every Sunday morning, I will go to heaven." "Absolutely." Another little girl stood up and said, "If I share 50% of my pocket money with my less privileged friend, I will go to heaven." "Correct." Another boy said, "If I help people who are in need, I will go to heaven." "Correct." A little Tommy in the back bench stood up and said, "You gotta die first." That is the qualification, isn't it? Hello? You want to go to heaven, you got to die first. And when you die, depending upon your culture, we will either bury you, right now somebody got some CSR for burning we will either bury you or burn you or cut you and throw you to the birds, depends what culture you belong to. But one thing is clear, if you have not done anything eco-friendly in your life, when you die, eco-friendly thing will happen. This piece of planet, you will put it back into the planet, which is a very good thing to do. So you left your body here and went to heaven. But what is in heaven? In the Hindu heaven, food is very good. If you lack food, that's where you must go. In another heaven, white-gowned ladies are floating around in the clouds. If you like that kind of ambience, you go there. In another heaven, you will encounter virgin problems. If that's what you want, that's where you go. But you left your body here and went to heaven, what will you do with good food and virgins, I'm asking you? These are all bodily problems, huh? Isn't it so? These are all bodily things, only when you have body, all these compulsions. You left your body and went, what will you do with these things? I'm saying if you ask 3 questions, all heavens will collapse. And people are beginning to ask questions. There was a time if you asked a question, you would die. Because now they cannot do that to you, naturally people are asking questions. And they will ask more and more questions. What are the questions that you did not dare to ask, your children will ask? Are they asking or no already? They must ask, isn't it? Questions that you did not dare to ask, your children must ask, isn't it so? A lot of people get insulted by a question. See, there can be nothing wrong with a question, only an answer can be wrong, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
Can a question be wrong? Only an answer can be wrong. But unfortunately, people get insulted with a question. You get insulted with a question because obviously you don't have an answer and you are not straight enough to admit, I don't have an answer. So, it is time that you take your life into your hands. There are the dimensions of life. Even to access that, even to access the source of creation, you have to take charge of this life, isn't it? The very source of creation is throbbing within us, but even to access that, if you don't take charge of the fundamentals of this life, how will you access it? Accidentally, it's not going to happen.
Sadhguru, Pranam Sadhguru, I am Gopi Krishna Shenai. My question is regarding mukti. I am not understanding what we are taking when we ask for mukti. This body is left here. All karmas this body doesn't go or affected to the Atma. Atma is not in the cycle
So
of…
there are too many assumptions in this question.
Less of understanding, it is not… So what is that I am taking for
What
the
is mukti you're asking?
Yes.
Do you drink coffee every morning?
Yeah, yes.
Suppose you can wake up in the morning and without coffee you can still be very alive.
Yes.
One level of mukti. Similarly, There are many compulsions. Once you have come with a physical form, there are many compulsions. Some have multiplied their compulsions, some have subtracted their compulsions and brought it to the minimum. Compulsion means just this. Compulsion means something else rules you. But one thing that human being values most is freedom, isn't it? See, 20% of our time, resource and energies are spent in the prisons, both in Tamil Nadu and United States. If you go into the prison, actually it is a more disciplined society than the society you're seeing outside, and more efficient society, because food comes bang on time, never late. Somebody opens the door for you, closes for you, somebody turns on the light for you, switches it off for you. It's actually very efficient. If you know, if you're very meditative, it's just great. This is what we have done to the prison. Now you see in Coimbatore Central Prison, you come and see, for 136 years of its history, every day there used to be somebody in the solitary imprisonment because of the mischief that they do inside the prison. Solitary box is like 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet metal box which is kept outside. So you put you into it and lock it means it's almost like a cooker, okay? It's a terrible place to be. Almost every day there used to be somebody in it. But after we did these simple programs there, for many months nobody went into it. And in United States, if you look at it, even in this prison, even in Indian prisons, their nourishment levels are better in the prison than outside for most of them. Their discipline is better, they're well exercised, they are strong, agile, everything. Only thing is, if you walk into the prison, there is pain in the air. I've never gone into the prison and come out without tears in my eyes, because there is just pain in the air. That's how important human freedom is. Most people may not be going anywhere, even in their house, they may not be going. But the simple thing that they are bolting the door, not somebody else, that's how much of a difference it makes. That's how important it is to be free. So this is the highest value. So, you know, in this culture, everything is built in. 2 days in a month you're not supposed to eat so that the compulsiveness of food will go away. 1 day or actually 12 days in a year you're not supposed to sleep, so the compulsiveness sleep will go away. Like this, many things have been built in which we are just throwing it away without understanding anything about it. Today, after billion-dollar research happens and they come back to us, now they tell us, oh yes, this is a great research. We have looked at life and said, this is the way to exist. Various levels of compulsions. Start working one at a time, become free, become free, become free. See, when you want to become free, toying with the idea of freedom is no good. What is binding you? That's what you need to break, isn't it? Huh?
Yes.
Suppose we tie up your hands. If you sit here and do freedom meditation, you're not going to become free. You must see how to cut the ropes, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is binding you? What is compulsive in your life? That's what you need to attend to. Freedom is a fanciful idea. It will make you lala in your head, it's no good. What is binding you, if you work on that, if you get rid of it, you become free. If there is a next level of binding, let's break that. If there is a next level of binding, we'll break that. If you break all levels of… if you go on breaking one at a time, someday you will break all of them, isn't it so?
Yes.
Or you think it's infinite binding? No.
No.
Bondage cannot be infinite, freedom can be infinite, isn't it?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Sumit Rao, an industrialist. This is the second time I'm asking you a question. Last time when you had come for a Rotary conference in Mangalore, I had asked you a question. I just have this question that most things in life are done by you or with your knowledge. There are only some things in life that have come to you without your knowledge. One is a name, one is your religion. And after this religion which has been forced upon you, whichever religion you are, we spend our whole lives fighting over these religions. Why? Why do we fight? Because we belong to a certain religion. Why do we fight with each other? Most of the world's battles are fought because of religion.
I think that's exactly what she asked, please. See, do you know where you came from to this life? Do you know? No. Do you know where you will go? No. But you will not admit it. You will say, I will go to heaven. You will believe things that you do not know. This is a problem. Can you become this sincere in your life? This much basic sincerity in your life, what I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. Is this okay? Huh? Is this okay, I'm asking you? This much sincerity you must have in your life. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. You're trying to handle this I do not know by believing something, because you have not realized the immensity of I do not know. When you see I do not know, only then you have the longing to know, the seeking to know, and the possibility of knowing becomes a reality in your life. Everything that you do not know, you believe. Belief means what? You are assuming something that you do not know. By yourself, if you assume, you look stupid, so you will gather 100 people around you who all believe the same thing. If all of us believe the same thing, only then there is strength. You have confidence without clarity, which is a disaster. If you know, it will bring clarity to your life. But if you believe, it will give you confidence. If you have confidence without clarity, you are a disastrous life, because you will be anyway on a collision course. It's just a question of time when it breaks out on the street. See, I believe one thing, you believe another thing, we're bound to fight someday. If we are true believers. If we are little shaky, it's okay, we'll compromise. But if we are true believers, we are bound to fight. I want you to understand, to put it very simply, to dumb down the whole thing. Suppose you believe God has 4 hands. I believe God has 2 hands, firmly. I know God has only 2 hands, but you 100% believe He has 4 hands. So tomorrow, out of your love for your God, you put up a huge statue in Mangalore city with 4 hands. But it hurts me, because I know God has only 2 hands. So in the night I go and just cut off 2 hands and make him as he should be. Tomorrow morning, both of us are killing each other or no? Hello? Both of us are killing each other for sure, isn't it? Who kills first is the question, but it is bound to happen. The moment you believe something that you do not know, you have to simply assert all the time. This is the problem. If you see I do not know, there is no problem. If you know, fantastic. But what you do not know, if you make it like you know by belief system, everything that you do not know, you believe and say, this is it. Because it said somewhere, somebody said it, something said it, some book said it, it doesn't matter. With all due respect to every one of them, maybe they knew, but you do not know, isn't it? Hello? Rama said something, Krishna said something, Jesus said something, somebody said something, maybe they knew, we will respect them. But you do not know, that's a fact, isn't it? Why are you pretending to know? Why don't you admit I do not know? Maybe he knew, but I do not know. If you see I do not know, there is no conflict. But above all, you will grow. If you see I do not know, it's intrinsic to human intelligence. You cannot remain in I do not know, you have to know. The more you realize the pain of not knowing, the more you want to know, isn't it? You will search, you will sharpen your perception, you will look deeper and deeper into life. Instead of that, you are just the gloss of belief. Without knowing a damn thing, you pretend like you know everything. This is dangerous because this gives you confidence. But please understand one thing, you can never believe by yourself. You need the support of a culture to believe, isn't it? But seeking, whenever somebody seeks, they are always alone. Whenever somebody believes, they are always in a large congregation. This is dangerous. I think it is in the last phase
of its existence. Simply believing whatever has been told to us will… You may not have the courage, your children and grandchildren will get rid of it for you. If you get rid of it, it'll be great for us to live here. Otherwise, we have to hope future will be better, and it will be, because human intellect is definitely going in that direction where something does not make logical sense to them, the next generation is going to drop it. You have any doubt about that? No, sir. They will definitely drop it. I want to make sure they drop it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadhguru, for your most witty yet thought-provoking reply to the queries of our audience. We at KBL are really fortunate to have the guidance and support of our chairman, Shri P. Jayarama Bhatt, who is a man on mission. During his leadership, KBL has grown with leaps and bounds. Dear sir, I request you to deliver the presidential address this evening.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Padma Vibhushan Awardee, Adaraniya Sadhguru, Managing Director and CEO Sri Mahabaleshwar MS, Directors on the Board of Karnataka Bank, former Directors, Honorable Invitees, Dr. B.M. Hegde, Speaker of our last year's Founders Day lecture, my colleagues present here, and also others who are hooked through video streaming and members from the press and media. I am overwhelmed with joy to preside a function where Sadhguru speaks. It is an honor for me. I am overwhelmed with joy to see this specially constructed ambience jam-packed with illustrious audience who have come from all places to hear Sadhguru. Sir, you have enthralled us with your scintillating oration and made the audience spellbound. I am sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you all will agree with me if I say that we all entered into a different world altogether during his discourse. We bankers have heard of income audit, expenditure audit, risk-based audit, performance audit, and so forth, so on. But the subject, life audit, was never thought of by many of us, and we are grateful to Sadhguru for enlightening us on this unique aspect, which is a very relevant thought in the present context. Sir, you have touched upon the subject of life audit in a very lucid manner, much better than an expert chartered accountant would have narrated auditing of financial accounts. It is our duty to implement the tips given by your kind selves, which will lead to our self-development and ultimately the development of the nation by improving the quality of life. The techniques narrated by Sadhguru are worth remembering for our lifelong practice. Let all of us become a special category auditors called life auditors ourselves. In the words of Sadhguru himself, I quote, "If you learn to create the right climate in your body, mind and emotion, your health, well-being and joy, everything will be taken care of. The mind is a powerful instrument. Every thought, every emotion that you create changes the very chemistry of your body." This is what Sadhguru said elsewhere. I have been fortunate to listen to the speeches of Sadhguru through digital space. In my knowledge and interpretation, I think that he focuses on making everyone realize what we are, why we are, how we are, and what we are supposed to do. In this process, I am sure he was loaded with millions of curious questions as put forth today from his devotees, followers on the concept of life, which encompasses everything in this living environment. I was hearing Sadhguru's speech through the live telecast of the recent Mahashivaratri celebrations held at Isha Foundation, Coimbatore, which some of you present here have attended and heard him live. I was stunned to see the crowd on the midnight. In that midnight, I was stunned to see the crowd hearing Sadhguru on various subjects of relevance, including Adiyogi's preaching to Saptarishis, knowledge dissemination, etc., etc. He also stated that Tourism Department of Government India recognized the Adiyogi statue as part of the Incredible India site. We all know that Sadhguru recently started a historic nationwide Rally for Rivers campaign for a comprehensive drought policy for revitalization of India's fast depleting rivers. Sadhguru personally drove, as already told, 9,300 kilometers. Can you imagine? 9,300 kilometers he has personally drove, and in the 16 states, and he had events of almost 142. The rally received overwhelming support from 160 million people across the political spectrum from all the state governments, central government, and people from all walks of life. I am glad that our bank, as told by the managing director, will also be a part of this great initiative put forth by Sadhguru under our CSR activity, and let us all humbly wish that the project will be a very, very grand success. I should really compliment the Managing Director Sri Mahabaleshwar MS for all his efforts and being instrumental in bringing Sadhguru here at Mangaluru and hear him live. That is why we have shifted our function from auditorium to this ambience, big pandal, so that every one of you who we have invited could see him live. Otherwise, in that auditorium, only about 850 people could have seen him live, and others should have seen him in the screen. But we didn't want to have that, and I should thank Mr. Mahabaleshwar, the dynamic managing director of Karnataka Bank, who has arranged this function so well and so unique. We are given an opportunity to serve this institution and take it forward to the next level. This institution, founded by 9 like-minded persons, is growing strength by strength. So, we bow our head in reverence to the great souls of our founders and invoke their renewed blessings. We rededicate ourselves to the services of the customers for their continued patronage. We thank our esteemed shareholders. Sir, this is a private sector bank, and we have almost 1,97,000 shareholders, and we thank them for their full support and trust on us. We are also grateful to the public at large who look at us with great respect and expectations. The ideology of handing over this great institution to the next generation by making it better and better to work has inspired me as well. In the words of Sadhguru, I quote, "We have a fundamental responsibility as a generation of people because we occupy this planet for a short, brief time, and when the last generation gave this planet to us, whichever way they gave it, it is our business that we leave it better than we had it. We have to leave this planet better than we have it." What a quotation from Sadhguru. We bow our heads, sir, for your statement. This quotation of Sadhguru is very relevant and apt for the growth of any progressing institution and reminds the responsibility reposed on us. I, as the present chairman of the bank, thank our founder fathers for giving this opportunity to serve this bank, and because of their ideology, this institution has touched many lives in the last 94 years of its great journey. I, on behalf of all and on behalf of our directors on the board, call upon my colleagues to work hard and see that this institution, which is also blessed by Sadhguru today with his divine blessings, grow from strength to strength and become a shining star in the banking space. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your ever-inspiring message and also for your words of appreciation for our chief guest and also our managing director. Thank you. Gratitude is the best attitude. It is said that being grateful is the purest form of prayer, and hence showing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful things we can do for each other. This evening has been a very special and auspicious one for all of us here. May I now request our Chief General Manager, Shri Raghavendra Bhatt M, to propose the vote of thanks.
Distinguished guest of the day, Padma Vibhushan, Sadhguru Ji, founder of Isha Foundation, esteemed Chairman Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, beloved Managing Director and CEO Sri Mahabaleshwar MS, respected members of the Board of Directors of the bank, all the distinguished invitees, shareholders, customers, well-wishers of Karnataka Bank, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. This is truly a historical moment for each one of us in Karnataka Bank. 94 years ago, our founders had but one vision: to create a bank which was distinctive and committed to the common man. On this momentous occasion of more than 9 decades of purposeful existence, I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to express my profound gratitude to Sadhguru for his gracious presence and for delivering the Founders Day lecture. Sir, Karnataka Bank is honored to have you with us on this very special occasion. We are extremely impressed by your simplicity and the depth, the clarity and the truth in your words. Today's Founders Day lecture on life audit will remain green in our minds throughout our lives. I think the life audit observations will be definitely complied with by all the people who are gathered here. You have taken Karnataka Bank Founders Day lecture to a new high. The massive crowd gathered here bears testimony to your popularity, and huge fan following speaks volumes of your oratory skills. In fact, as our chairman also said, our managing director, when they started getting the calls from the local peoples, whether the pass has been arranged, we started thinking that this auditorium where we were conducting this meeting program, which is not adequate. Therefore, this huge pandal has been created here, and I am very happy with the crowd of Mangalore who have responded so positively. And this, not only this pandal, our auditorium on the 4th floor is also totally full. That speaks of the very great popularity of you, sir. Karnataka Bank is indebted to you for making this day go down in its annal as a magical moment. Thank you for accepting our invitation and sparing your invaluable time to be with us today. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to our esteemed chairman, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt, for presiding over today's function. As you all know, Sri P. Jairam Bhatt had effortlessly steered the bank as MD and CEO for nearly 8 years, and the bank had witnessed several highs during that period. Presently, as the chairman, he is a guiding force, a gold mine of banking experience, and a great source of strength for all of us. Thank you, sir, for presiding over today's function. Our beloved Managing Director and CEO, Sri Mahabaleshwara MS, who has taken over the reins of the bank less than a year back, is a visionary who has great dreams for Karnataka Bank. He has been taking dynamic and rapid strides, making a mark in the banking industry. He is a person with innovative and creative ideas, always waiting to put them into action. He is a self-made, goal-oriented man who raises the bar several notches higher every time with his hard work, determination, and an eye for the detail. Under his dynamic leadership and vision, the bank stands poised to undertake a transformation journey to reposition itself as a big, strong, and vibrant commercial institution coupled with socially responsible values. In fact, he is instrumental in having Sadhguru amidst us today. Thank you, sir, for your guidance and gracious presence. I like to express my sincere thanks to our Board of Directors for their august presence. They are collectively ensuring top-class corporate governance, and as a result, Karnataka Bank is emerging stronger day by day. They are here with their family members. Thank you, sirs. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to the General Secretaries, Presidents, and Office Bearers of the Karnataka Bank Officers Organization and the All India Karnataka Bank Employees Association for their wholehearted support and gracious presence. I also thank Abharana Bhaskar, C.S. Gopalakrishna, Sri B.R. Ashok, our auditors, Sri Ullas Kumar, our secretarial auditor, Sri M.E. Shankar Bhatt, our legal counsel, our business associates from PNB MetLife, Bajaj Alliance, Life Insurance, Universal Sompo, General Insurance, our partners in transformation journey, Mrs. BCG Boston Consultancy Group, FIS, Infosys, iExceed, Elco Technologies, Oracle, Customer XP, all our mutual fund partners, and MRL Postnet for their kind presence. For Founders Day celebration on 18th February has become a national event for us because we have the august presence of our valued customers, the very backbone of our bank, and well-wishers from all over India. Officials of all local banks and all their support for making this function a grand success. My special thanks to my executive colleagues and all the members of the Karnataka Bank family for making this event a grand success. I also recognize the presence of P. Surendra Shanai, Principal General Manager of BSNL, who are one of the biggest network service provider. Thank you to him also. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record a big thank you to all those persons who have worked behind the scene to contribute to the success of this great event. The entire team has worked shoulder to shoulder for weeks together to make this event a happening one. My gratitude to brothers and sisters of Isha Foundation too. I also thank two of my colleagues, Mrs. Jennifer, for doing a fantastic job as the Master of Ceremony, and Mrs. Veena T.N. for her soul-stirring invocation. Thank you. Thank you. I thank both of them. Lastly, thank you one and all for making this event a grand success. A small announcement. You are all aware that our Founders Day lecture is always followed by a musical concert. I am pleased to announce that the Carnatic classical vocal music concert by the awesome sister duo Vidushi Srimati Ranjani and Vidushi Srimati Gayatri will follow in a short while from now. Please stay back, relax and enjoy. In the meantime, high tea is arranged in the basement area of our head office building. Please Please enjoy the high tea and join us back to enjoy the musical concert. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your words of gratitude. So Sadhguru ji is here. Please be seated. He has to share something. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. My gratitude and blessings to Karnataka Bank. May the bank grow to serve the people and the nation in a very significant way in the coming years with dynamic leaders and most gracious hosts they've been. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much.
Once again, Sadhguruji, for your blessings on this great institute, KBL. So ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of the Founders Day lecture. The musical concert by Vidushi Srimati Ranjini and Srimati Gayatri and troupe will follow very shortly. Dear guests and invitees, refreshments have been arranged at the basement of our building premises. You may kindly proceed for the same and return to the venue by 5:30 p.m. for the musical concert. We have some space constraints, so I request you all kindly to coordinate, take the help of our volunteers for the refreshments and enjoy this evening and return back by 5:30 p.m. for the musical concert. Thank you, one and all.